A while back, I posted a video about a prefab home company located in the single most requested area, and the response was quite positive. One viewer said, "Wow, Carrie, this is the best. Thank you." And then they put the clapping emoji, so high praise. I like that. Another said, "The teak is beautiful. Looking forward to the updates." Well, Alyssa, you can stop looking forward now because the update is here. This is the update, and I'm going deeper than ever before. Let's go back to California. I'm not in California. It would not make any sense to go back and see the show models again. I already did that. If you haven't guessed by now, the company that I'm talking about is Masaya Homes, with their line of prefab homes that are manufactured in Nicaragua before being shipped to California. For anyone who hasn't heard of Masaya, they're a prefab home and furniture company building ADUs ranging in size from 120 square feet up to 800 square feet, with larger models coming soon. The homes are described as sustainable ADUs made from 100% reforested solid teak, and they've got a look that people have been excited about. To give you a quick example of what we're talking about here, this is an M4 that was recently finished in California. The M4 is a 395 square foot prefab home with a layout that works well, simple as that. It has dimensions of 32 foot 11 by 12 feet and has a bedroom on one end, bathroom in the middle, before opening up to the living space and kitchen. The M4 looks awesome, and I could dedicate an entire video to just that model, but for today's video, I'm going to the very beginning. One of the things that makes Masaya Homes completely different than any other manufacturer on the market that I know about anyway, is the fact that there's replant forests that at one point had been clear cut for cattle farming and used that wood to build their products. Plant, grow, harvest, rinse and repeat, and to date they've planted over 1 million trees. The entire process takes about 20 years, and today I'm heading into the forest to get a look at how it all works. Well, here we are. I've driven about an hour south from where I'm staying. I'm right near the Nicaragua-Costa Rica border for reference, and if you're wondering, that's not Jurassic Park behind me. What we're looking at here is a 250-acre reforestation project that has been planting trees on this site for almost 2 decades, and this is one of the spots that Masaya Homes gets their wood to build their ADUs. I don't know if you got the memo, but I am not the authority on teak, but from my understanding, it takes about a half an acre of this to produce enough wood for, say, an M4. That's their 395 square foot ADU, and that works out to about 180 to 300 trees. Now, if you're sitting there thinking that they're going through the forest and ripping down teak and then moving on to the next plot, no. You couldn't be any more wrong. One of the most interesting things about this entire operation is the reforestation component. And again, I'm not the authority on that, so I'm meeting up with the co-founder, and he's going to walk me through how this process works. Let's go check it out.
I'm Aram, one of the founders of Masaya Co. We are in La Fortuna, which is our first tree farm that we started in 2008. So this is part of the reserve areas of the farm, which are around 35% of the farms. This farm is 250 acres, so a lot of it is this creek kind of nature conservation, nature reserve. So if you look out over here, you see the pasture.
Yeah.
And so that's where the cattle grazing happens, and then you have kind of patches of forest. Those are neighboring farms, and then you come over, and this is part of La Fortuna. And so you can see where all the pasture areas are filled in with teak.
Yeah.
And then the areas in between are native reserve, native species forest.
Okay.
So you can see the big contrast between the pasture and the reforested area.
So this middle section was all cow pasture.
That was
before.
all looked like that or like that in the background.
So it's more over there.
More drastic. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's huge.
This is a nice stand from 2008. The trees are really tall and straight. Kind of the slope helps them actually kind of compete upwards and grow straight.
Yeah.
But this one's been thinned twice.
Okay.
So this is one where we'll probably come in next year and pull out another, 30% of what's there.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it will be final harvest in six or 7 years. So this stand is 16 years old. It gives you an idea of the change that happens from the pasture to the forest. When we first started, we were doing mixed native species because the idea was to just recreate a native forest. Our problem with that was the species compete. Some of them just stagnate and don't grow. So since this does also need to be economically viable, the thing that the tree that we saw working the best was teak. And so the teak kind of grows evenly. You can use the thinning wood at year 8. When you do native species, usually the thinnings aren't good until year 15, 16, 18. So it also makes the whole reforestation project more viable if you can use the thinnings. So that's...
So you wouldn't take on anywhere that wasn't used as a cattle pasture before. Everything that you're planting was at one point a cattle pasture?
Right. So this was a patch of pasture amongst, you know, some forested areas, and yeah, we only plant the pasture areas. This one is getting to where it's nice, you know, mature teak wood for exterior furniture, for decking, nice oily dark wood, and it's 16 years old, probably 24 inches in diameter. So this is what they should look like at final harvest in year 20.
This is a perfect specimen.
And then you do your final harvest and replant. So this is 2021. So this teak's in its 4th year. And as you can see, the grass is still here. We hope that between this year and next year, this teak will top out and shade out the grass. And so then it'll take over and start growing better. But the first 2 years are a battle between the small teak tree coming up,
right,
and the grass trying to strangle it.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of manual cleanings and just making sure the teak or the trees that we're going are ahead of the grass.
So you come in here with machetes and keep the grass down?
Keep the grass off the tree,
Okay.
Make a little circle around the tree.
Cool. What was that you were telling me about the certification you guys just got?
So we have FSC certification, which is Forestry Stewardship Council.
Okay.
And so they check, you know, they make sure that all your wood is coming from verified sources. Obviously ours are all coming from plantations, so it's pretty easy to verify that it's not coming from a forest.
Yeah.
But they also get way into your social benefits, how you take care of your employees, all your procedures, safety procedures, and so they kind of vet out the factory operations.
Okay.
So that's something we just did last year, and basically they will certify plantations, and then they'll also certify the whole chain of custody. So the factory is part of the chain of custody.
Okay.
So we've been certified to process FSC certified wood from certified plantations, but actually our products are certified all the way through to the end consumer.
And what are they certifying it as?
It's FSC. They basically give you an FSC stamp so that it's sustainable,
Okay.
sustainably sourced, socially responsible. You know, they're vetting your entire process, basically.
Gotcha. And did they actually send somebody out here that
Yeah.
took a similar tour that we're on right now?
They didn't come here. That was certification was at the factory.
Oh, I see.
Right. And we, most of our wood still is coming from other people's plantations
Okay.
that are larger, more mature plantations.
Okay.
Yeah. Our farms don't produce enough to source our whole factory still.
So how many are you pulling from right now?
We have like 4 or 5 different other reforestation projects that we buy from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all set up in a similar way? Is it all reforesting cattle, or some of them?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is.
they're all projects that were converted cattle farms into productive forests.
Can you touch on the carbon capture and explain it to a novice or less?
Okay, so photosynthesis takes carbon dioxide, releases oxygen, and then captures the carbon in the plant. So trees are roughly 50% carbon. And so what we're doing is basically capturing carbon dioxide out of the environment and sinking it into trees. Once the trees are mature, we turn them into products. So those products are lifetime quality products, and the idea is it's a permanent carbon sink.
How many of the prefab homes are you building a year now?
Let's see, we've done 20, and I think we have about 8 in the pipeline, 8
Nice.
to 10. Yeah.
And so far, all in California?
One in Nashville,
Okay.
one in Portland, Oregon. And then we're starting some here now. In
Okay.
Nicaragua, yeah.
Cool. Any other states on the horizon?
We have somebody interested in Hawaii.
Have you ever thought about offering tours of what you're doing here?
We have thought about it, and you'll see the next farm we go to has an insane view of Ometepe Island. And so we were thinking about making some little prefabs, bring people down, walk them through everything, stay over the night.
Right.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, 'cause it's really interesting.
Yeah.
How much of this, what we're looking at, is part of it?
This is all farm.
Wow.
Yeah, everything in front of us is all reforested. Like that's all teak on that hill. And then actually goes to that ridge and goes over down the other side.
Shit.
And so it starts back there, and that kind of bowl area comes through here and then up over that ridge. So we've kind of made a little protected valley here.
Aram, we finished our trek and... Oh, okay. It wasn't at all what I was expecting, and I'm worried I'm not going to be able to do it justice. So if you could wrap this up in a neat little bow as to what exactly you're doing here, what would you say?
This is a reforestation project that we started 16 years ago. We're growing trees to capture carbon and turn them into houses and furniture.
There you have it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next. Am I the only guy sweating already? I did.